Hillary Clinton, as you know, fell short in the Electoral College, winning just 218 votes last night. That compares to the CBS News estimate of at least 289 for President-elect Donald Trump. He won Texas by a comfortable margin. Former San Antonio Mayor Julián Castro is a rising star in the Democratic Party and joins us at the table. Good morning to you, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning.
You were there last night at her headquarters. You have campaigned for her and supported her. I know you got maybe 2 hours of sleep last night, so it sunk in.
Yeah.
Explain to us, what do you think happened last night?
Well, I think fundamentally that it was a shuffle the deck kind of election, and that people were trying to send a message about their frustration with Washington, D.C.
Was she a flawed candidate?
Well, I think that she was a very impressive candidate. I just think that after 30 years of folks going after her, and after the constant barrage on the email issue, I think Trump did a good job of using social media, of messaging in his own way. Perhaps he didn't get the credit that he should have for that. At the same time, now he and this Republican Party, they own it. And unfortunately, I think in frustration, the voters have handed over the presidency to someone who even 61% of folks in an exit poll yesterday believed was not qualified to be president.
Do you believe he's still unfit to be president?
Well, my opinion about whether he should be president hasn't changed from last night to today, but I do think that it's up to all of us as Americans to do what we can to unite the country, and it's up to him more than anybody to make sure that he approaches the presidency differently from how he approached the campaign. Being president is not like being a campaigner.
Yeah. Were you encouraged by what he said last night?
Sure. But here's the thing, Charlie. I think that all along the way, one of the things he benefited from was very, very low expectations. A president has to do more than just say a nice few words. This election could have real negative consequences for people. He wants to take away Obamacare. That's 22 million people that have health care in our country that won't have it if he just repeals it.
He says he's going to take away Obamacare.
That's right.
Yeah,
There are 600,000 dreamers in our country who are good people, who are young people that are contributing to the forward progress of our nation. He says that on day one he wants to do away with the executive order that President Obama put in place without anything that would keep those families together. That is why there's a tremendous amount of concern about his presidency.
Well, then how do you explain that, Mayor? Because Mitt Romney, his own party, said that he lost the Hispanic vote by such a large margin because he talked about Hispanics and those who are not here legally self-deporting. Donald Trump said he's going to have a deportation force, and yet he did better than Mitt Romney.
I would challenge that. There's one exit poll that said that he did a couple of points better. So even if we accept that, he lost 70% of Hispanics. And I think that Hispanics turned out in better numbers, and that they made the difference for her winning in Colorado.
The Democrats need to do an autopsy on what happened in this campaign, like the Republicans did 4 years ago, that there were fundamental misconceptions about the electorate?
Of course. You know, anytime, especially in an election like this, where you're expected to win and then you don't, it makes sense to go back and understand what happened. More than anything else, though, right now, aside from the politics, I think that we need to find a way to come together as a nation and try and heal the division that obviously took place in what was a unique election.
And that's a two-way street.
Absolutely.
What's the incentive for the Republicans to do that now that they control the White House and both houses of Congress?
Well, the incentive is that you hope that folks are not drunk with their own power, that they recognize that there is this notion of putting country above party. And now, you know what? If we're 4 years from now, and someone is running, and they say, what did you do with the last 4 years? You had the presidency, you had the House, you had the Senate, you're probably going to have the Supreme Court. You're not going to have any.
Probably going to have the Supreme Court.
What was the mood in the room last night? When did it change? It started off, everybody was so jubilant. When did it change in the room where you realized, Houston, we have a major problem here?
Well, probably when those several states like Florida, Pennsylvania, Ohio went further and further, North Carolina went further and further into the evening. You know, you see 65% reporting and he's still ahead, 75% reporting and so on. When they called Ohio, and then you could see that it was coming down to Wisconsin and Michigan, that was never part of the plan.
Could you believe this was happening?
No, it's fair. I think other people have said that there was a tremendous amount of disbelief. I think that Hillary Clinton ran a very tough campaign, and she was an impressive candidate. And I think when people look back on this election, they're going to understand how much she didn't get her due. But for right now, we need to focus on, there are a lot of people out there that are scared of this presidency.
Have you talked to her?
I have not. I have not.
How does someone who has called Donald Trump unfit, dangerous, a puppet of Vladimir Putin come out and offer to work across the aisle with him and support him?
Well, that's natural for Hillary Clinton. She's been doing that her entire career.
Okay.
She did that as Secretary of State. She did that when she was in the Senate. I have no doubt that she's going to be very gracious and that she's going to do what she can to put country above party, because we've seen her do it before.
Julián Castro, thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you here.